And good evening, everybody. We are live, and this is Pawtree Day, self-proclaimed Pawtree Day. My name is Roger Morgan. I'm the founder and CEO of Pawtree, and we have two wonderful guests on this evening. Please say hello to Brooke Sloat, our Director of Product Development.
Hey, everybody.
Thanks, Brooke. And please say hello to Dr. Tony Kramer. Thanks for being on, Dr. Tony.
Welcome, everybody.
We're super excited to have this this wonderful resource in Dr. Tony to share with us his insights on a very important topic that I know many of us have had issues with our pets and over the years, and that is joints, joint issues, hip issues, pain and discomfort issues. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into all of that here shortly. But before we do, I have some prizes to give away, and that's always fun to do. So it's what's that, Dr. Tony?
Good way to start.
It's a good way to start.
Give some stuff away.
That's right. So if we want to, let me do this. I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to show you guys the items that are available. So if your name is drawn in this drawing here in just a few minutes, you can choose any of these items. These beautiful blankets for your pets are so comfortable and luxurious. These wonderful beds that are beautiful, various designs and very soft fabrics in different sizes. And then we've got also some bowls and some wonderful bowls that you can choose. So if your name is selected, you can choose 2 bowls or a blanket or a bed, and we will be honored to share those with you for free, and that is all part of Pawtree Day today. So with that in mind, well, let me tell you how you can enter the drawing. So we still have, after this one, we have 2 more left this evening that you can still be eligible for. And so here's how, all you have to do to be eligible for this drawing is to place an order with Pawtree today, and you automatically go into the drawing, or become a Pet Pro today, and you will automatically go into the drawing. So very easy to be included. You still have 2 more shots at it. So go jump on and participate, and let me look at our winner. So Karen, thank you very much, Karen, for doing the drawing. Karen has been putting names in all day long. We've had a wonderful showing of people placing orders and becoming Pet Pros, and we've got 3 names that Karen has drawn for us. So the first winner is Vanessa Whitemore from Tennessee. Congratulations, Vanessa. And then we've got B.E. Ringer from Arizona. Wonderful. And lastly, we have Amy Snyder from Pennsylvania. So there we go. People from all around the country. We've got 3 winners. And we will send you an email later this evening telling you how to claim your prize. Congratulations. And for everybody else, it's not too late to be entered into the drawing. Go place an order, become a Pet Pro. We'd love to have you. And we'll do 2 more of these this evening yet to come. So with that, Brooke, Dr. Tony, shall we dig into this wonderful topic of joints and pains and how we can help our pets?
Yeah, this topic is talked about so much. Do we want to go ahead and show the video on joint?
Let's do it. So let me share my screen. I'm going to go here to our YouTube channel and find our joint video here.
A lot of people think that joint disease is simply a problem with larger dogs. And that is true, that it is a big issue with those guys. But dogs of all sizes need joint support.
Pawtree Joint Support is such an important product. It's really one that's very near and dear to my heart, knowing that 1 in 5 adult dogs suffer with some form of joint problems. There's nothing that we can do to prevent it, but if there's things that we can do to slow it down, all the better. It's a combination of products that help keep all of the musculoskeletal system healthy.
We've got a little Yorkie. It's a well-known thing that they can have issues with their knees or joints later in life. And so the fact that we can offer her product that improves that situation for her it's comforting.
Most joint supplements on the market only address the thickness and the viscosity of joint fluid and don't address the role that the soft tissue plays in joint health. Patri product addresses both aspects.
Wonderful. So there you go, Brooke. It's all yours.
All right. All right, Tony. So joint support, or joint health, excuse me, is a very hot topic, both for people and for their pets. Can you tell us a little bit why this is so popular?
Well, this is a topic near and dear to my heart too, because my specialized area of interest is orthopedic surgery. And so we just see so many pets, young and old, that have issues, musculoskeletal issues. And, we constantly are looking for ways to make that better and improve the quality of those pets' life. It just is a very, very, very common thing out there. And joint injury and arthritis and things like that are just up that alley. And we have some great products that really, really help that out.
So is it really a big deal for dogs?
Well, I'll tell you what I hear a lot of people say is that this is, an older dog issue with joint problems being for about older dogs or bigger dogs. And they have a point. It may be more common overall in some larger and older pets, but it is definitely an issue with smaller dogs. I routinely, especially in Chicago, we've got lots and lots of little pocket puppies, small pets, and they are all over the city. And they do have a whole host of joint issues, patellar problems. They can even have hip problems, which just doesn't seem like something you hear about a lot, but it is certainly possible. And again, all these kind of musculoskeletal problems, joint problems, really reduce their quality of life and make them just not be able to enjoy day-to-day activities, which is what it's all about, having a pet. We want to be able them to, have fun, run and play, and really interact with our family.
Absolutely. So can you just give us, backtrack a little bit and just give us a little bit of some insights into how the joints work?
I think probably a really simple way to look at it is that the joint is multifaceted. There's basically soft cartilage that's on the end of your long bones. And in between that, you have structures that are soft tissue, collagen, and that type of deal. And then you also have a component of joint fluid, which is kind of like oil. It's like having, if you're missing that, it's like running your car without oil. Causes lots of friction and whatnot. And all three of those components, any one of them that's having a problem can cause joint pain and joint discomfort for pets. So when we want to deal with trying to supplement and then also repair and treat some of these type of things, again, a multimodal approach is way more effective than just dealing with one part of that joint.
Absolutely. Thank you for explaining that. And I love also that you explained that this is not just a big dog issue, that it's a small dog issue, it's a cat issue. So it happens to them all. Okay. So a lot of people will say, well, heck, I feed a food that has glucosamine in it. Isn't that good enough?
Well, some of these supplements out there, glucosamine being one of them, for both pets and people, kind of became a buzzword a while ago, and it was something where everybody in the world was trying to come up with a supplement, and so you got to be careful about that. I would imagine most of the time somebody just saying, hey, contains glucosamine on a bag of food doesn't necessarily have therapeutic quantities of glucosamine that would actually really do a good job. I find that tends to be more of a marketing ploy in a lot of cases. And so I think it's really, really important to, look at the amount that's given and compare that to a supplement like Joint Support Plus. And you'll find that it's just a much more powerful amount being used in a supplement like that.
Yeah, I think therapeutic is the absolute right word, and that people will understand that. I mean, there's only so much you're going to be able to put into a food, and that may be fine, at the beginning, but you truly need to have the added supplement to protect those joints, because my understanding is once that joint fluid is gone, you can't get it back, right?
It would be nice to have a little oil cap that you unscrewed and poured some more in, but it doesn't work that way. And even when we put synthetic type fluids in there, inject hyaluronic acid, some other things that are trying to accomplish the same thing, they just don't have a great longevity and tend to be pretty invasive, and something somebody's realistically isn't going to keep up on. So again, very important point. We want to go ahead and protect that joint fluid, protect the joint in general when it's healthy, and make sure that it's doing a great job and not deteriorating over time. And that's the best way to protect that joint and keep it healthy as the pet ages.
Right. No, excellent. And it's also, a lot of times people think that this is an older dog or an older cat issue. There's small dog and and the large dog, but it's always also, people will talk about, well, I'll use that when my pet is older. They don't need it now. Is that true?
I mean, it's just like what we said earlier there. If by the time you're seeing signs, you may already be out of oil. And we don't want to wait till that point in time. Once we see clinical signs, something's going wrong. Cartilage is already worn off. There's already arthritis in there. There's already reduced joint fluid. So it would be nice to start babying those joints way before you are starting to see clinical signs. And what date does a pet become old and you would decide to do this? So it is, for active dogs and cats, it is definitely a nice thing to do something, preemptive strike to keep their joints as healthy as possible. And again, what you had said there, yes, older pets are going to be more likely to have some of these problems, but I deal with patients all the time that are young, healthy animals that became injured. They're like, young people, athletes, and they've ruptured their ACLs. They have dislocated kneecaps or dislocated hips, things that, hip dysplasia. These are young animal diseases. Hip dysplasia, many times we find out that a dog has that before they're a year old. So we know right off the bat, here's an animal very young and already having, very much a debilitating joint problem. So again, no, I mean, it's great for all those aspects for using for older pets with arthritis. And, but in many cases, these, as a protectant, wonderful. And then also, post-surgery and post-repair of ligaments and fractures and that type of thing, we think that would be, something that would really help those pets feel better during the recovery process.
Excellent. Now, Paw Tree's Joint Support Plus, we have some really great ingredients in it. We have our glucosamine, we have chondroitin, we have green lip mussel. We also have herbs like yucca and corydalis, turmeric and boswellia. And we also have MSM, which manages aches and discomfort with, having to do with everyday activity. We said in the video that we approach joint support in two different ways. Not just we support the healthy soft tissue as well as the normal viscosity of the joint fluid. And most other joint support products only do one, which is they're really focused on the viscosity of the joint fluid. So would you say that the ingredients and the focusing on both of those aspects are really important? Because if you focus on just the one, is that really going to do your pet justice?
No, I would agree with you. A couple of things. One thing that I love about Paw Tree supplements, and we talked about this earlier with Gastro Pro Plus, is that the fact that we have a multitude of ingredients that are aimed at doing the same job in slightly different ways is, it's wonderful. Many joint supplements. We put animals on glucosamine, or we put them on chondroitin sulfate, the MSM, all these things, are found alone. And it's to have them all wrapped up in a nice package like this, again, a multimodal effect where we're getting action at numerous different levels and in numerous different ways. Hey, a lot of things some people take glucosamine and say it works great, and others say it doesn't. So for a supplement to have more than one thing in it, we have a way better chance of effectively treating that joint and making it feel better. So absolutely yes, on the fact that we have, again, coming at it from the joint fluid coming from protecting cartilage, and even with MSM, reducing pain, those kind of things, again, all put together, I think it just makes a nice package for joint health.
Yeah.
Brooke, could I jump in for just a second?
Sure.
I just, Dr. Tony, thank you for sharing that. I have not used that word multimodal, if I used that word correctly that you just said. I think it's a great, kind of medical veterinary way of saying what I have said as the founder of this company since the beginning, which is we don't compromise. And when we are in this for results, to help pets and people thrive. And in order to do that, we put all the things that are needed to help a pet thrive into our recipes, into our formulations, into the quality of the ingredients, into the quality of the manufacturing, and we just don't compromise. And that's a perfect example of what you just said. It really is, that's kind of a medical professional opinion of what's at the center of my heart as the founder of this business, which is we want to develop and share products with this pet world, this pet community that will truly make a difference. And to do that, sometimes it does require more expense and more, higher quality ingredients and more of ingredients or a combination of ingredients. And that's exactly what we've done. And I appreciate you saying that. I'm going to have to remember that multimodal, phrase that really is what we do with our products. And this is no exception.
It really sets this supplement apart. And again, you don't see this combination anywhere else. And that means a lot.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we added the green-lip mussel, which is a phenomenal ingredient, but we did that because it's very similar to chondroitin. Chondroitin, though, is a very large molecule, and it's hard for the body to absorb. So we wanted to make sure that we added some other things. Chondroitin is a buzzword with consumers, right? But we want to make sure that we add other things that are going to be really beneficial to the pet. So it's, Roger, it's the ingredients, but it's the quality of the ingredients. Not all is the same. Our green-lip mussel comes from New Zealand, from the purest waters you can get it from. There's nothing better in the world, period. So, okay.
People haven't heard of that and don't know that that's an effective ingredient. They've heard of the chondroitin and they've heard of the glucose.
Exactly. So if your product doesn't have chondroitin in it, then it's not good because people know glucosamine and chondroitin, right? But the chondroitin, as I said, is a large molecule. It's not, they can't absorb everything from it. So the green-lip mussel takes over, is the powerhouse. Now we talked about dogs, and we kind of talked a little bit about cats. My understanding is about a third of all cats have joint issues.
Yeah,
and
I would say absolutely. Again, it's something that you kind of think that they're a small animal and they're immune to that kind of situation, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. I would say the majority of our cats are pretty, let's say, lazy and inactive, and they get overweight. And so when you deal with a population of pets that are basically not very active and overweight, I mean, that really affects your joints, just like us. It's putting extra pressure on tissues that weren't made for that. And then if you don't use them a lot, obviously flexibility and all the other things deteriorate. So yeah, cats have pretty simple life, but unfortunately that isn't the most healthy thing for them. And so yeah, we'd love to keep them at a great weight. And we talk about that all the time, but there's no doubt about it. Their joints, as they go through their life, are going to take a beating with way less activity than a dog. That's for sure. And they have some pretty bad joint injuries. We have cats that, heavy cat, they jump off of something that they could jump off a year ago when they were 4 or 5 pounds lighter. Now they're, instead of a 10-pound cat, a 15-pound cat jumps off a table and ruptures an ACL. And so those are things that we see. And even though it doesn't seem like a super common thing, it's out there. And those cats need protection for their joints too.
Yeah, and they the stat is basically about a third of cats have joint issues by age 6. Now, cats live a very long time, right? They could live to 20 plus years. So that's a very long time to be in pain like that. So I guess, Tony, what would you say the main takeaway you would want people to know about joint health?
Well, I guess, to kind of sum things up there, I mean, we would love to, again, affect all these different aspects. We want pets to be of the right weight. So, pay attention to that. Make sure your pet is eating a proper amount of food, based on how much activity they have. And if you need help with that, veterinarians can do that. Something that we don't think about going to the veterinarian about is a weight loss program, but we're more than happy to help people with that. And so, that's number one. Number two, we are going to deal with, injury related things. And, some of those are just accidents and they happen and we have to deal with them when they arise. And some of them are, preventable when we have animals that maybe coming out of a winter of being lazy. Now all of a sudden they're out at the dog park and running around like crazy and overdo it, kind of weekend warrior syndrome, and wind up with problems like that too. And then, like I said, then maybe lastly is, all of our pets are going to age, and they're going to have age-related issues with their, and again, like you said, if we consider pets, senior at 7, a cat who lived to be 20, it's a long time to be a senior and to deal with, senior type problems. So anything we can do along the lines to baby those joints, supplement them, keep them healthy throughout that time is going to give that animal a distinctive advantage and a higher quality of life.
It's interesting. You were talking about nutrition before, what you would feed them. A lot of people probably don't think about changing their cat's food. They're gonna, they like a certain food, so that's what they're going to continue to feed. But there are different foods. We have different foods that are lower in calorie. So as they age, you want to give them the lower in calorie. If, for instance, they don't like it as much, which they may not, fat is the thing that that they enjoy, right? The taste of. So if it's a little bit lower in fat, you could add like pop herrings to it to get them to eat it. That would be for dogs and for cats. But it was just interesting. I wanted to tag on to what you were saying about nutrition. We had talked about this earlier. Our product Aches Away, and
Brooke.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Before we go there, could I just, I saw a comment here that I thought maybe Dr. Tony could respond to. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a discussion happening here in the chat, Dr. Tony. There's several who have been, had wonderful results with the Joint Support Plus and have been sharing their experiences and, and sharing how, they give that supplement every day and how, here's a comment. They should be on this supplement every day. There's a few other kind of similar comments, and then somebody, let's see, and then Taylor says, in my mind, it would be a waste of money to do this Joint Support Plus every now and then. This really meaning it's meant to be a daily thing that helps build up everything that you're talking about. I see Brooke nodding her head as well.
This is not a once in a while thing. This is a preventative. You don't want to have those surgeries. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Tony, but you don't want the surgeries.
Well, we've got plenty to do. We don't need it.
Okay, wonderful. Yes. Any other thoughts on that, Dr. Tony? You obviously support that same thought that Brooke said that this really is meant to be a regular.
With any supplementation, I mean, it's just a hit or miss. I mean, it's not the way to go. I mean, we're going to give something to our body to utilize and for a purpose. And if your body's only get it once in a while, it's just going to be less effective and less efficient at solving the issue. Same thing with us. I mean, it's prescribed a certain type of supplement to just take it once in a while. Yeah, it's just not as
wonderful. And Nicole teed up this next topic pretty well, and I'll pass it back to you, Brooke. But I thought it was interesting. Nicole's ahead of us. Well done, Nicole. She said, she was commenting the same with both Dr. Tony and Brooke, saying that, the Joint Support Plus should be used every day. If you're looking for a once in a while option, that might be the Aches Away, and that's where you were taking us next, Brooke. So go for it.
Thank you so much. That was a great segue. Okay. So we talked about Aches Away before, but this has come up, questions have come into support about this, basically, should I use the joint support? Should I use the Aches Away, et cetera? And again, they're two different things. The joint support would be an everyday thing for a long period of time. You want to protect, those joints, because once that fluid's gone, it's gone. And then you have bone on bone, and then you have surgeries, and you just don't want to do that. But let's go back and talk about the Aches Away. Do you want to play that one more time, Roger?
Yeah. Yes, we played this earlier today, but we've got a lot of guests who are new here today. So let me go back to our YouTube channel, and let's go find our Aches Away. Here we go.
Pets can have aches and discomfort from doing things just in their normal life. Jumping, playing, even cold weather can make them achy. Limping and moving slowly are telltale signs of this. They also experience aches and discomforts from minor surgical procedures and even dentals.
There are medications that you can use, but like any medication, they can have potential side effects. And there are times when you need something and you just don't have it on hand. There are times when you may not want to use a medication, pain medication from your veterinarian. You want to use something that's natural, something that's an alternative to those medications. Paw Trees Aches Away is a great one. It's also less expensive.
Paw Trees Aches Away contains healthy, all-natural ingredients which help to manage your pet's discomfort. It has ingredients like glucosamine, hemp seed oil, and hemp seed powder, and a blend of omega-3, 6, and 9s. All of these have an anti-inflammatory effect and help to reduce your pet's discomfort.
And if we take him on a long walk, a long hike, he's definitely feeling it the next day. And so the Aches Away is the perfect product. It's all natural. It's a chew. It's fantastic. He loves the taste of it. And it just helps him feel so much better and just relieves that discomfort that he's in.
Paw Trees Aches Away is a natural supplement. It's safe enough that if you needed to, you could give it every day. I think that every pet parent should have it in their medicine cabinet.
Okay.
I think that falls in very nicely with the whole weekend warrior type of thing. Whereas you might be on joint support plus all the time, but again, something like that where you go out and a little overdoing it, we come home and we go, wow, just like us after the first run of the year or something, that may be a perfect supplement for that kind of situation.
Yeah, when you need a little extra something, right? The joint support is your main thing, and then the Aches Away, when they just it's really when they do just everyday activities, right? But it's when all of a sudden maybe they land off the couch wrong or something, they just don't feel as well. It's kind of like I mentioned this earlier. I keep aspirin or, ibuprofen in the house, right? I don't take it every day, but I do take it when I have a headache. I don't have a headache every day. But the Aches Away is kind of an as needed thing. But believe me, when you need it, you need it. You want to have it on hand. Tony, some of the ingredients, I wanted to ask you how you feel about the ingredients in the Aches Away. So this one has hemp seed oil and hemp seed powder and some glucosamine, which also reduce aches and discomfort from normal everyday activities. A really healthy blend of omega-3, 6s, and 9s for inflammation. And a blend of herbs. Again, we combine our ingredients with our herbs, yucca, boswellia, and white willow bark to alleviate, again, some of those aches and discomfort. And of course, L-tryptophan that helps increase the brain levels of serotonin to promote relaxation, et cetera. So knowing what those ingredients are, do you want to talk at all to those and how you feel about using Aches Away in conjunction with Joint Support Plus?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we're seeing, going at it from a lot of different ways with a lot of different, anti-inflammatory and antioxidant type of supplements there. And I think a big point here, you mentioned ibuprofen and some of the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories that people routinely use, and pets just do not deal with those medications anywhere near like we do. An ibuprofen can be almost deadly toxic for a cat if they wind up picking that up off the floor and stuff. So we have to be very cautious with anti-inflammatories. And so typically we don't have a medicine cabinet choice to go grab for aches and pains in our pet. I think this fits that role nicely because it's really not out there. When we do have to get to use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, which we use frequently as veterinarians, but it would be nice if things are not that severe to be able to do something holistic and natural first. And certainly if things don't progress in the way we want, those may be, we may need to do a little deeper dive as to what is actually wrong as far as diagnosis goes. But in the end, we may wind up using, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, or there's joint fluid injections. There's all different kind of things that are out there that are certainly more expensive, kind of have definitely some other side effects that we want to avoid. Sometimes, it's necessary to use them, and but it doesn't mean that we can't use a combination of holistic and natural remedy with non-steroidal and be able to maybe reduce the side effects that come along with use of these different type of drugs.
Excellent. I'm seeing a question. Kim wrote in, can all the supplements be given together? You got that one too, Roger? Like the salmon oil, the allergy support, the joint support, the Gastro Pro Plus, et cetera. And some of our pet pros are answering that. But Tony, do you have any concern with those being given together?
I think you'd like them to use them all. That's for sure. It is. I don't see any medical contraindication for using these things together. In general, or dealing with all natural products out there and all things that would be good for the body to have.
Excellent. And I see Beth wrote in, I know this is not a topic that we're talking about right now, but Beth wants to know, is it Chillax we can't give to cats? No, you can give Chillax to cats. It's Skin Support Plus that is only for dogs, not for cats. So I don't even need to answer these questions. All you guys are answering for me. So this is fabulous. Was there anything else, Tony, that you wanted to add, or Roger, to this segment?
No, just sum it up. Just like I said, just let's be cautious with our pets if they're one nice thing about our isolation is we have been home and spending a lot of time with our pets. And so they probably won't have the rude awakening of going from winter to spring and spring to summer and going from no activity to a lot of activity. Hopefully they've had many healthy exercise, many healthy walks and have been exercising. So that's good. But keep an eye out for signs of any type of limping or lameness or slow to get up, difficulty getting in the car. Those are signs that they're just feeling some joint discomfort, and we need to address it.
Excellent.
And oh, sorry, Brooke, go ahead. Did you have?
No. I think Tony summed it up well, and I think we're ready. My parting comments here. First of all, thank you, Dr. Tony and Brooke, for being available to share this information. It's so empowering. I mean, I really do. I feel it myself. I know, just from the energy, from the comments that we're seeing here in the chat, I know that that people really do appreciate the wisdom that you have, that you're imparting to us. I know you've spent so many years in medical school, in practice, in surgeries, in working with families with pets, and all of that wisdom is brought to bear on this topic, this conversation, that we get to really tap into your wisdom and your knowledge and experience. And we really appreciate your time, Dr. Tony. Thank you for being on with us this evening. It's been wonderful.
Thank you for having me on. Getting this information out is so important, and it'll definitely protect a lot of pets against things that are relatively common out there, and and that's good for everybody.
And you know, the last thing that I want to say before I kind of tell you what's coming next is, you know, you've seen, if you're watching this and you have any of these issues with your pets, right, with dogs or cats, these hip and joint issues, these, you know, occasional pain and discomfort. I mean, you've heard some wonderful, natural, holistic solutions to that this evening from Dr. Tony. You've read the comments from so many people who have already used these products with wonderful, glowing, you know, experiences and testimonials. I, as the founder of the company, I would just invite you to try the products for yourself and see for yourself the impact that we can have on your pet's life and on your life in the process. And the wonderful thing about that is, if it works, you'll be grateful for years and years to come. And so will your pets will be grateful. And you will have done a great thing for your pets' lives, and you will have impacted your own life. And I can promise you that. You can see it in these wonderful testimonials here. People, not only you feel better because your pet's not suffering, but you feel better because you've made a good decision to help a member of your family who can't help themselves. So I'm confident in that. But the worst that will happen if you try these products and see for yourself is, in the event that they don't work, which I already know that they will, but in the event that they don't, or that you don't perceive that they worked or made a difference, we give you all your money back. And that's a promise that I make as the founder of the company. That's how strongly I feel in our products, that they really will deliver results, that I'm absolutely willing any day on any product that if the customer is not happy that it really produced results, we'll just give you all your money back and consider it a free sample. So with that, I hope you will try tonight. And that's a good segue to this free drawing that we're doing, because if you place an order today, or you become a Pet Pro today, your name automatically goes into our drawing, and we'll do the next one in about 20 minutes here at 7 p.m. Central with our next segment and our next wonderful guest that we'll be having, which at 7 o'clock Central, we will have Dr. Sandy Willis on. If you've ever had a pet or have a pet now who's picky, you know, we have this saying that just like you don't like to eat the same thing every day, neither do our pets, right? And yet most of us feed our pets the same thing every single day for lots of reasons, but we're going to talk about that at 7 o'clock Central here in about 20 minutes. I hope you can join us with Dr. Willis, Dr. Sandy, and we'll learn some options available for either picky eaters or even if they're not picky, but they're bored of eating the same thing every day. We'll talk about wonderful vitamins and minerals that can be sprinkled on pet food. And we have another great video that we'll share it with that. And we'll do another drawing at the top of the hour. So hope to see you there. In the meantime,
this is a segment you don't want to miss.
That's right.
This is a really good one. Yeah.
Well, Brooke, thank you for being on with us. Dr. Tony, thank you for being on with us. Always a delight. And I hope to see everybody here back in about 20 minutes, and we'll keep this wonderful Paw Tree Day going. Thank you.
Sounds like a great segment coming up. I'll tune in. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Tony. Bye-bye.
Bye now.